years, and I think the only thing left standing will be something like a libertarian account of what's going to happen. When the government bubble breaks, the people in this room will be the people who will be the only people who have been right all along, and it'll be all people. Now, I think we can sort of, anyway, so many other threads one can explore in this line of questioning. I think I think there are many different questions I think one should try to tackle on different levels. So I think the policy analysis is we have to get tech deregulated and restarted if we're going to create a better future for the next few decades. And we're not quite there, but I'm hopeful there'll be some serious reassessment of this in the next few years. We need to, I think that, and that there's room, and then I think individually, all of you need to think really hard about how do you escape the bubble dynamic in your own life. And the residual part of it is of course, the education bubble, which is a very important subcomponent of the government bubble. I've spoken on this at great length in the last few years, but it is basically similar to the housing or finance or tech bubble, where it involves a story about something that's probably overrated, that you're paying an enormous amount of money for. I don't judge anyone who's going to college or getting a college degree. I think there are lots of reasons. That's the game people sort of have to play. But you have to keep in the back of your mind the idea that there's something deeply flawed with it, and that you can't count on it to give you as much of a boost as people say. I think one of the really pernicious aspects of all these bubbles is that sort of the money that was spent on them, in some ways was spent to pay for people telling lies about how there was no bubble. And so if you think about the housing bubble and the government agencies that helped provide all the credit, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, all those agencies, in effect it paid for real estate brokers and people on Wall Street and all these other people to tell trillions of dollars worth of lies about why there was no housing bubble. And the sort of the $1 trillion in student debt at this point, to first approximation, is going to pay for $1 trillion worth of lies about how great education is. And this is why when people at this point are starting to have some doubts and starting to think maybe there's something a little bit wrong with this extremely expensive education subsidized by the government that's still pushing people into this debt for decades to come, you have to know that we're already very, very far into it, because it's not like the debate's taking place on a level playing field. It's basically the people who question education on the one side, the people who are in favor of it, plus $1 trillion on the other side. And so once it's an open debate, the fact that it's so biased should give you some sense of where the reality of the matter lies. And so I think the questions we need to try to tackle are both the policy question of what can we do to get this country out of the recession, but then I think there's always the non-political question, and the one I would leave you with is the anti-political question, which is what are you doing to end the recession, and what can I do to end the recession? Because probably the biggest lie the government bubble is telling us is that it is the government that will end the recession, and that is the one thing that's wrong. And the sooner we get to asking the correct question, the better it will be. I wanted to make this as interactive as possible. So